So, are we going to go for another arty one? We are, aren't we? Arty one to leave it. We had a
finish on an arty one.
Yeah. So this one's got quite a lot of upvotes, so it looks like it could be a funny one. Right. Am I the arsehole for asking my artist to remove his signature on the art I commissioned for my book because it looks distracting after putting it on the text? Okay. After years of working on it, I finally had the courage to release my first book independently. Since this is a YA novel, what does that mean?
A young adult novel.
Young adult novel. I decided to hire this cool artist I found on, I reckon so. I found on Instagram. His rate is kind of high, but I feel like it's worth it anyway because he's insanely talented.
Love that.
Yeah. Anyway, I was satisfied with the result. The only problem is, after I put the text through Photoshop, I realised that his signature looks out of place. Because of this, I asked him if he can remove it, and instead I'll credit him as the illustrator. He got furious and even accused me of trying to steal his art, but he's paid for it. How am I stealing his art when I paid for it, including the copyright fee or something, which will legally allow me to sell the book with his art on it? Okay, well, you've just got to look at the contract, haven't you?
I mean, you don't have to sell someone the copyright for them to be able to sell the book with it. That's just number one in the UK anyway. Like if I was to illustrate a book, I don't have to sell them the copyright. I just license the design. But technically, if they have bought the copyright, and if that's what they've done, because you have to have a contract that says the illustrator XX person is handing the copyright over to this person, technically, the person who's bought the copyright could go in and edit their
and it depends what it says on the contract, because the contract could say you don't remove my signature and he's missed it. So I don't know. I don't think.
I think if you are, I don't know about you, or I don't. Obviously, I'm not a fucking legal person. I'm not a lawyer, but I think potentially the signature would deter. But you never really see that on books. You never really see an artist's signature. No. It's always like illustrated by such and such a body.
Yeah, and they said they're going to do that.
And if these rates are high and he's paying him anyway, like. I don't know. I think the artist. I don't know. Somebody listening to this might disagree, but from the knowledge I have in my brain, I think the artist is being a bit of a dick about this.
Yeah, it's like a watermark.
Yeah.
I asked my friend if I'm the arsehole for asking him to remove the signature, and even she agreed. Said that I should honestly just leave it, as it will help me promote his art as well. But it's going to promote the art anyway because it's going to be illustrated by artists.
Yeah.
I still think I did nothing wrong. I have read many books with digital printing book cover. None of those have a signature on it. Instead, the artist was just credited. And besides, he technically doesn't own it anymore because he transferred the ownership to me.
Yeah, there you go then.
Yeah, and I even have a certificate of authenticity. Am I the arsehole? No, you're not at all.
No.
Not at all.
That illustrator doesn't know what they're talking about by the signs of it.
And the rates are high.
Yeah.
Confused.com.
See what the comments saying.
Top one. NTA, which means not the arsehole. It is a commissioned piece and a book cover art. I have never seen a signature on the art of the artist on book cover unless he or she is Banksy famous and it helps selling the book. The artist is full of himself. And do you know what as well? Surely if it is distracting, surely they're going to want what looks best anyway with their work.
Yeah.
It's weird. Someone said, exactly, this is beyond unprofessional, not the arsehole. A commissioned piece belongs to you and it includes the right to make modifications as well.
Yeah, if someone buys the copyright, they do have the right to make modifications because they then own that copyright.
Yeah. I work in a bookstore and I have never seen a book cover with the artist's signature on it. That would be very distracting and very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, legally he needs to remove the signature. You own the copyright, the art is no longer his.
Yep.
Yeah, although someone then has said legally he needs to do nothing. OP commissioned him artwork. They got artwork. Since OP states that as part of the commission, they now own the copyright to that artwork. They are now free to edit that artwork in any way they see fit. This includes removing the signature so they desire. If OP didn't include revisions as part of the commission or already used all their revisions, then the artist has no obligation to remove the signature. Yeah, I don't know. There's quite a lot of conflicting here, because then someone else has said here, this is bad advice unless the artist sold the copyright along with the painting. The artist can sell ownership of the painting while retaining the copyright. Is that right?
Well, yeah, well, you own a painting, but if someone has sold the copyright and, like they said, they've sold the copyright, like, it's like, I think people, it's the terms that we all get confused with, of, like, what the terms actually mean, but, like, I think what they're implying by ownership is, like, when I design illustrations for companies, that is exclusive to them. So they own that exclusive design, but I retain the copyright. But because the OP has said, I have bought the copyright to this, I think he needs to have a look over it.
Yeah. OP probably lives in the Philippines, so I don't know what intellectual properties are there, but in America, the original painting / art can be sold without the artist losing the copyright. Why is he presuming that he lives in the Philippines?
I don't know.
Maybe he said something. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm going to say not the arsehole. This is really confusing.
People are getting confused between having the licensing and having the copyright. But from the sounds of it, so someone's quote tweeted, we're not on Twitter. Someone's quoted the section where OP says, but how am I stealing his art when I pay for it, including the copyright fee or something, which legally allows me to sell the book with his art on it? And someone said, it sounds like the copyright was a part of the deal, but the use of or something kind of implies to me that OP doesn't actually fully understand what they've signed on to. As an art, and then someone's commented, said, as an artist, I interpreted the or something to mean OP has no idea what they actually signed, but that they're probably interpreting the rights to print the artwork as owning the copyright, because most people do. Relatively few people outside of the art world and publishing world actually know that there is a distinction between the two, which there is. There's a distinction between owning the bespoke image and owning the copyright. And then OP's currently saying, actually, I know what I've signed up for, not sure about the term. Basically, I own the art and can now reproduce it without him getting any money from each product that I sold.
That's still not copyright.
That's not copyright, no. So that's it. So they've sold him some people, when they design for a company, will say, right, this is my rate for this design, and then now every single one that you sell, I get 8% of that thingy. Some people do that, some people don't. I don't, on the long run of some things, because it's just an extra thing for me to think about, if I'm being honest. I think my rates cover my time and reflect my standard of work. But yeah, no, I license it out and be like, you've got this for a limited time and here's your flat fee. Whereas that's what it sounds like they've got, like they've not owned the copyright. That's so, like, carry on, I'm intrigued.
That doesn't mean that they own the copyright. This is why you never go to internet strangers for legal advice. This is an arsehole enthusiast as well. Yeah, see if there's an update.
Account has been
suspended. I wonder why.